Hey everyone, Fabian here. It is what? Almost 1 a.m. Eastern, and I'm wide awake. All right, so I couldn't sleep, so I wanted to pick up on some work that we did before. And in the last demo that we did, we basically were working with only one OpenAPI spec, and it was around messages. And that we also are using something here called, where do I have it again? Here it is. AutoInvoke API kernel functions. And I'll leave this here while I talk about it. So basically, if you have a bunch of plugins inside Semantic Kernel, in the olden days, there was people's planners and personas. And is that right? Something like that. And planners was one of the things that you could basically launch, and it would determine what functions or plugins that it would invoke in order to do work. That's since gone away to some extent in terms of how you call it, but now you can either directly call functions or you can do something called an AutoInvoke. The AutoInvoke basically will look at the prompt and then decide which one or ones to call. And in my example so far, I've only been doing one. So even though I was doing AutoInvoke, it only invoked one. So I wanted to do an example where I would ask something in natural language, something like, hey, I need some help. I saw Fabs today. And this is in the voice of Adele Vance, by the way, because she's the one that's going to be logged in. I saw Fabs today. I thought I met him before. Can you give me some information about him, please? So let's say you meet someone in the street and you think you met them before. You just need some information. And remind me, do I have any meetings with him coming up? Maybe you met a person in a conference and it's something like that. So if we're looking at that, we should first see that we're logged in here as Fabs. We have an email that Fabs sent to Adele. So inside Adele's calendar, she has this meeting today technically now, at 9 a.m. to huddle on the election, and they're going to meet in the Georgetown Waterfront Park in Washington, D.C. And there's this email, no email from Fabs yet, but there's email inside here, which we know we can get if we just say, just give me my latest email, because we know that works. So let's go ahead and actually test this real quickly with this one where we're asking the question about Fabs, and we will come back to, we expect to see a calendar entry. We expect to see an entry about, oh yeah, one more thing, right? I was about to say, how do we know Fabs? So if we come here to Graph Explorer and I do a get contacts, you can see that Fabs is inside here, right? So Fabs GWell, Fabs with some fake email address and stuff like that here. This is just a get my contacts for Microsoft Graph. So we come here and we do .NET run. Let me just make sure I have everything saved before I do that. Yep, .NET run. And this is using device code auth to get to Microsoft Graph. I think we talked about that already. So we need to come here and we need to pass that code. And we're logged in as Adele, as we mentioned before. And we need to click continue for it to say that you're successfully signed in. And we come over here now, we can see that we've loaded the plugins for calendar, for contacts, and for messages. All right, and we're asking the question that we mentioned before. So we have to come back here and it tells us that it found Fabs, Fabuloso, Squad Leader, Luctus Mensix with this the fake email address. So we know that this comes from contacts. We can also see that we have a meeting, the huddle on election, and it tells us where the meeting information is. And on email, it says email with Fabs. This is basically the email for the calendar item stuff, which is not necessarily an email, but it comes across as an email and it goes to your calendar. So let's do this now. Let's actually, so we know that works. We know we asked a question and we got two information back from two different endpoints by one question. Let's take it a step further and come here and we're going to do something, crazy. We're going to go here and we're going to send an email to Adele and we're going to say, I thought I knew you when I saw you in the expo. It's just making stuff up. We have a meeting tomorrow for sure, but let's grab coffee if you have time. Cheers. And we'll do a send, and we'll just double check that that email got received from Adele. So we'll to Adele from Fabs. There it is. So there it is coming in. So we know it's there now. And let's come over here and let's run this again. So we're going to clear this and we're going to do .NET run. I haven't changed anything. The exact same questions. Do I have any meetings or emails with them? I thought I know this person. This is all. This is me in my head know that there's several endpoints that give you that information. But that's just how you probably would ask something of someone. So Control V. Next. Adele Vance logging in. Boom. Continue. We've successfully signed in. And let's see what comes back now. So same question again. Meetings, emails. Thought I know this person. It's 3 items. Ooh. Okay, so this is just blown up token. This is probably because I have so much stuff coming back. And I know that to be the case. So let's bring this down to 1,000. Now the challenge now is that am I gonna get hit with a 429 next? Should I do 500? You know what? Let's not play. Let's do 500. Just to cut down on token size. It may affect what's going to come back, but it won't give me a 429. Clear.NET run. The challenge with LLMs and tokens. Come back over here. It's too funny, but believe it or not, a lot of the stuff that I do that you don't see behind the scenes usually end up with either 429s or something like that, and I tweak it. You just don't get to see it, but here you are. You get to see it today. So all of these calendar, contacts, and messages are loaded, which is the 3 things I'm playing with. And let's see what comes back. All right, so we have some stuff that comes back. And it's telling me that it's found it in contacts again, and it says there's a meeting coming up, and it says, and there are currently no emails in your inbox. Now I know there's an email in my inbox, but I'm wondering if it's because I cut that stuff down. Let's come here, and let's massage it. Any emails from Fabs. Let's just be a little bit more descriptive. And let's also change this to 1,000. Now we're playing with dice. Okay. File, save as. Because you and I both know that we sent an email. So let's just massage it a little bit. And, we save file. Yeah, we did. So clear. Oh, bugger. Now we gotta save again. .NET run. Alright, let's go ahead and grab this guy. Control C. Over here. Device code. Control V. One other thing that I actually was doing before was trying to run this because on this machine I can actually do local models, and but you can't do function calling is what I end up finding out on the Llama 3.170b that I was using. All right, so yeah, we blew up token counts against here. So this is just the game you play. So we know 1,000 doesn't work. I can try 750 while I have you here. All right, so let's try 750. Where is it? 750. Trying to like squeeze blood from a stone here sometimes. Okay. Just so you can see it. Clear. All right. We know what 500 works and 500 comes back, but it tells us it didn't see anything. So now we're playing. We're just trying to manage token counts. And now the risk is basically getting a 429 because I'm sending stuff inside of a minute and these things add up. And there's a request per token or tokens per second that I could hit. Yeah, so it doesn't even work for that as well too. I'm pretty sure if I go down to 500, it'll work. Let's try 500 just to double check that and see if it'll actually oops. If it'll actually come back and give me the email this time. Only if I put the email first, if it would work. But yeah, we'll keep playing with it. We're all iterated on this together, so maybe in the next video you'll actually see me do something where I get back all three because I did something clever. The other thing is to actually do this with direct function calling and then aggregate the information rather than doing it this way. But then you literally are just calling there's no reason from Fabs in your inbox. You know what? I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna say, how's that email from? I have an idea. It's probably not what you would do in a real world situation, but let's see. We know that the email is there. It's here. You know what? Because let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Let's do it that way, actually. Let's see. Yeah, let's try that. Save as. We'll keep the 500 and see what happens. I think that may be it actually, because I'm using my real name in one and I'm using a moniker in the other, so that could be it. That could really be it. So this could all be my fault in the end. It's always my fault, right? I'm the one sitting behind the computer. In essence, talking to myself now too. Because it's now almost 1 a.m. All right. Signed in. All right. So we can see now that we're asking down here. We blew the token count now. We didn't change anything. Now we're at 500. We're at 500. Yeah, so which means it's coming back. What do we do? Let's try 300. All right. Let's try 300. .NET run. When in doubt, right? Yeah. All right. Really dancing now with that 429, I'm pretty sure. If it comes back with that, then we're done, folks. This is what happens when you write software. You just want to see it work. And you'll do whatever just to see it work. All right, let's see what comes back. Okay, so now we're there. We're there. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Come on, 300 work. Oh, look at that. Okay. So we actually got good stuff coming back now. So we can see here that it found the contact. All right. It found the meeting. And in the emails, it finds the Guy Fawkes voting day stuff. It finds some stuff from FabG Well down here. These are basically the meetings. So it brought back all three, as you can see inside here, right? The Guy Fawkes, remember the 5th of November, and stuff like that. So took us a little bit of time. I'm pretty sure if I click this, it'll take us into the OS stuff. But we do see that with this one sentence, which is typically how you would ask a question in natural language. Hey, thought I saw Fabs today. Can you give me this information? And remind me, do I have any meetings or any emails from him? I think one thing that we had to change here was just this, because that's because of how I have my name set up inside that fake email address. But that is it. The next thing I'm going to be trying to do, and these are all gets right now. Gets are easy. Well, easy is a relative term. Gets are not that complex. As you start to use OpenAPI specs to create these plugins, and the idea here is that you're not using code. You're using OpenAPI specs, which describe the functions, and basically by looking at the server inside here, it knows to go to this endpoint. It knows to to go to /me/messages, and it knows the shape of the API, and it can basically create that and then make the request call using the OAuth token that it gets from the device code auth to do all of this for you. And intuitively, it can figure out which ones to call. And it basically called the messages, the contacts, and contacts, and and calendar. You can see it's getting late. My brain's going soft. And it did that all for you. So the next thing to do is actually now ask it to send an email. I've done that already. I think you saw that already, but this one is the first time I'm doing all three. So if we get a little bit more creative with the prompt, we should be able to do stuff. I think the key challenge is going to be telling the prompt to be very strict in terms of what it sends back. And you can do that as well too. Right now I'm a little bit loose. I wanted to see everything before I can narrow it down. Like saying, only give me the bullet points and only give me these fields, which will shorten the amount of context that's coming back. But this is where we are today. So hope you enjoyed that. A little bit longer than I thought, but hopefully it was fun.